Walk and talk 42. Blocking out the sun. We'll cross the bridge to reality. There's a couple of people behind us and they've got a dog that's following us here, look. But it'll have to wait for... there we go. There they are. You stay then. Walk and talk 42. Blocking out the sun. I'd like to apologise now for any issues that my microphone might be having. I don't know why it's been having issues of recent, but I've noticed it has. But we have to make do with what we've got. Big shout out to everyone who's subscribed, all the people who comment and like and share the videos. It helps Bruce and I a lot. So, blocking out the sun. A few weeks ago, it was in the mainstream news that they're now, whoever they are, have been authorised to spray the skies of the UK in order to experiment on blacking out the sun. So that the heat from the sun is reflected back into space. Let's get something real clear. They started spraying you in 1998. And over time, it's gradually got more and more and more and more. I noticed them spraying around 2010. But the reason for this news headline is because now the floodgates are open. Now they can spray you openly and with whatever they damn well like. And they can say, so when the people look up and they see the spray now clear as day, they can be, oh, it's nothing to worry about. They're just experimenting on blocking out the sun. Now, another point you want to take into note is if you're going to be experimenting with a technology to put particulates into the air to stop sunlight from getting through, why would you choose the UK as the place to do that experiment when the UK has very little sun anyway? I mean, the whole thing's just an absolute joke. But basically what they're saying in the news with that report is, now we can spray you openly with whatever chemical or whatever disease we like, and there's nothing you can say or do about it because we've been open about it now. Not just that, but there's also the weather. It's not just what they're spraying on you that you breathe in, that goes onto your crops and into your soil and into your water supply and inevitably into you. But it's you know, there's they've opened the door now for weather modification, which is what you would call, I mean, it's reflecting the sun rays back away from Earth. Is weather modification, isn't it? And JFK in the 60s was talking about you know, we can predict the weather and soon we can have weather control. And there was another dude who says, and soon we can control the weather, and he who controls the weather controls the world. So all of the major weather issues, earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, they're all done by the system to make you believe in climate change, when it's actually them changing the climate. So I feel sorry for the people in the UK right now, because they're going to be absolutely bombarded now heavily with chemicals and whatever else the system would like to put into your bodies, spraying you like absolute bugs, and not a peep from anybody. It's the biggest crime in human history, in human documented history, that is for sure. Because you don't get a choice. You're forced to ingest whatever it is, whatever cocktail of nasties they want to throw on the population. So now literally they could put out a biological attack on the UK by dropping viruses from the air and tell you that the virus came from somewhere else. And the people will believe it because the people believe the news, while everyone starts going down and getting sick. I mean, what a stupid idea anyway. The fact that people even allow, under the guise of experimentation, to block out the sun. I mean, what kind of reality are you living in? And most people are just stood there and they're saying, oh well, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. Write to somebody. Like, at least do something. Don't just stand there and watch it happen. Don't just stand there and let it happen. Stand and be counted. They're about to black out your sunshine. Do you know what that means? That means death to most things, most life forms. Because every single life form on this earth relies on the sun, relies on the sunlight. You as a human being need your vitamin D, which you get from sunlight. And you're just going to sit there. Most of you are just going to sit there. Not the people watching my videos, but most of the population are just going to sit there while the government blacks out their sun. You're not even allowed sunshine anymore. It's absolutely it annoys me. It annoys me, the placidity of people. Oh, well, what can our little old guy can do about it? Speak to someone. Write to your MP, or at least somebody. I mean, this should be on the alternative news sources every day as a crime. No, they're still talking about Russia and Ukraine. They're still talking about Palestine and Israel. Which, don't get me wrong, are causes in their own right. But blocking out your sunshine? That's a birthright, folks. That's a birthright for everyone. They're not spraying to block out the sun. they're spraying to basically reap chemical warfare on the population, because they're spraying chemicals, and what's up there must come down, right? Where do you think it goes? Well, you all breathe it in, don't you? Really, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Reminds me of that, you know, because they have a lot of predictive programming in films. Remember that Batman movie where the Joker, one of the old ones, the old Batman movie where the Joker sprays like gas, it makes everyone laugh. That's what they can literally do to you. Don't think they don't know what they're spraying. It's not an experiment. They've been spraying you for over 25 years. They've been spraying you like cockroaches for over 25 years. And most of you did nothing. Nothing. Big shout out and kudos to all those who do something. You've been programmed for this as well in all of your computer games, children's cartoons, even movies that were made earlier than the spray in 1998. Even movies have been remastered and edited to put the chemical trails into the movies. So that is all very normal. If any of you have watched that that season, The Chosen, about the, you know, the story of Jesus, every single cutscene I've seen on there has a sky full of chemtrails. It kind of puts me off watching it, because when and it was my mum who said I should watch it, it's a good watch. But every cutscene is chemtrails. It's hard for me to believe that there were chemtrails in the times of so-called Jesus. I'll tell you a little secret. In 2018, I got a message from the police, and the message was, Joe, this is the anti-terrorist police. We'd like to have a chat with you about some of your Facebook posts. So I was like, "Should you get these done? You know, you don't have to, but we'd just like to have a chat with you, and you can let us know when you want to come into the station." And at the time, I was protecting a building in Ealing, in London. And I said to them, "No, you can come to where I'm protecting this building, and you can speak to me there if you want to speak to me about my Facebook posts." See? We were the first ones, those speaking out in the early days, we were the first ones to get the Fort Police and the Stasi on our case. This is back in 2018. So I go, they come to the building I was looking after, and I open the door and they come in, and there's a woman and a man, and the man is like, the man officer is like, both anti-terrorist police is like, "Joe, I don't know why this has come across our desk, but it has, so we have to come and speak to you about it." And there was a woman, a little wrench of a woman. She looked like you know, typical wino. Can't cope with the craziness of her job and the bad things that her job has her doing. So she normally sits on the sofa at night just drinking wine, you can tell. And anyway, she starts asking me, and they ask me, they say, oh, you believe in chemtrails, don't you? And I was like, listen, love. I was like, I don't believe, think, or have faith in anything. I either know something or I don't know it. Now, I said, both of you, what I want you to do is, I want you to go home and I want you to go and look back at your mum and dad's wedding photos. I want you to go back and look at your family's historic photos. And I want you to go and look at the sky and tell me what colour the sky is. And then I want you to compare that sky with today's sky. And then you tell me if chemtrails exist or not. Now, one of my posts that they were most upset about was a picture of my medals that I posted. I posted my medals the other way round. Normally when you wear medals, you have the Queen's face presented, and I had my medals turned the other way around. And on my post I had something written like, when I went to these tours, I didn't fight for the Queen or the country, I fought for the man next to me. And so they asked me, these two anti-terrorist police, bearing in mind they're now talking to a veteran with 7 tours under his belt, and the woman officer, she goes, the little wino, she goes, oh, do you like the Queen? She says, do you like the Queen? And I was like, well, I've never met the Queen. I've never met her. So I don't like her or dislike her. I can't tell you whether I like her or I dislike her. Now, if the Queen invited me in for a cup of tea and I managed to sit down with her for an hour or two, I might be able to give you a better answer. But until then, I've never met the Queen. I don't know the Queen, and therefore I don't like or dislike the Queen. And with that, they both left. But that's when the harassment really started. And I mean heavy levels of surveillance and people setting me up. And they failed. See, if you walk with the great artist and you live in truth, anyone tries to attack you, they normally fail because they're weak. So that'll be all on this talk. Be blessed, everyone. Whiskey! Say goodbye, Roo. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye then. Where are we going to go? Are we going to go to get our food? And what kind of food are we going to have? Real food? Be blessed.